What is up, guys? This is Jeff coming to you from Lake Tahoe on the Lorentz Major Electric Skateboard, November 29th. It is freezing out. As you can see, perhaps there is some flurries of snow in the air just as I'm cruising through Tahoe City here, across some bridges, over some brick trails, and the board is running phenomenally. It took me a while actually this morning to get this sucker kind of dialed in. The last two rides I've done, I did not tighten up the trucks, which was a major flaw with my just getting ready to actually ride a new board. A lot of the times with TKP trucks, I just kind of roll right out stock, but with the Lorentz, this is definitely not possible. There are some small screws which require a number 4 Allen wrench to tighten up, and I tighten them up about 2.5 turns and then kind of play it around a little bit, but after doing that, the stability really came into its own, and this board and deck, the trucks, everything kind of came more alive, able to cruise here 30 miles an hour, no problem, down the pass and just ripping up, even through some of this ice, as you can see right there, no problem, on the street wheels, cruising through. This is Skylandia Park, just kind of checking out this area, seeing what the water conditions were like. It was cold, it is still slightly snowing here, but just wanted to see what the water conditions were, if it was flat or not. Probably not going to be getting out on the paddleboard, sadly, anytime soon. And then just heading out of here. As you can see, these street wheels still eat up any kind of these little bumps, cracks, everything in the road, and it just is super smooth. Man, I love the sound of these motors in the back. It is incredible. So now just kind of coming through Tahoe City again, and now heading into Lake Tahoe proper, right outside of Tahoe City, heading towards more of the Chambers Landing and Tahoma. This is a great little beach here. Obviously no one here right now, far too cold, but boy, the water looks super clear. It's dead flat and coming up. As you can see though, the Lorentz Major is only having one eyeball. I was riding and I noticed that one headlight was not working, so turned it back off. Don't really need lights anyways. So here, just cruising along west shore of Lake Tahoe, making a couple stops, make some videos of the board and of the lake. Filming myself, my TSG helmet. This helmet is awesome. Keeps out the wind, keeps my head a lot warmer than just a regular beanie, and keeps my noggin safe. This section, this was incredible. Going right out this bridge, right out into the lake, the view, boy, it really does not get too much better than this. So I just had to go out and stop, get a little footage of the board out here. The video really does not do this justice at all. It's incredible. And wish everyone could actually come out here and just check it out. Look at that bridge just disappearing into the lake behind me. Oh, man. Continuing down the west shore, still kind of just cruising along this path. It is actually a lot rougher than you might think. You know, if you get down, it's definitely got a lot of cracks in it. And yeah, more chances for getting shots of the board. So yeah, even with these massive trucks, it still is a bit bouncy, but for sure, with these street wheels at 28 psi, no problem. Even over some of the snow here in Tahoma. Today it was about 32 miles riding and 32 degrees. My fingers definitely went numb. Everything was getting really cold. And then Chambers Landing right behind me. I've actually never been down here, but this is a nice sandy beach. Obviously all man-made. shot of the board at Chambers Landing. Most of the time this will all be rocks naturally, but they must have done a lot of work to give it that nice beach. And then just heading back towards Tahoe City on the streets. As you can see here, the pathway definitely is not super smooth. You can see a lot of cracks, but after tightening up the trucks, the Lorentz Major just kind of cruises over just about everything. So I don't think there's not much that this thing can't handle. It's just, are you willing to lug this thing around with you? You know, because 50 pounds ain't light. Just here trying to get low, testing out the stability. It did pretty well, just working on some of my downhill skills here on the e-skate. Like flying through this path. At least I thought I was flying. You know, some people might not be that fast. For me, see, little bump there. It eats up most of it, but sometimes it definitely does give you a little bit of a jostle here and there. But this board's super stable, you know, fast, and just more power than really anyone ever needs, especially for me. So, yep, just continuing on over, you know, polyurethane wheels. This trail would just eat them up, really. You wouldn't really be having much fun as on this board here, because you can still carve this thing through the paths. This is really narrow here, really no problem. You know, just a little bit of foot adjustment as you're kind of taking these sharper turns at speed, and you're still like no problems. And then onto the street, and keeping up with traffic is not a problem for the board, more for your abilities. So I think I've been talking long enough. So in conclusion, the Lorentz Major, third ride on it. This board is incredible. It's such a great overall board on the streets. Obviously has off-road capabilities, and just overall cruising around, it is awesome. But the only drawback is that you do have to carry it when you want to ride. At least I do, up and down stairs, and then to and from the car, and that barely fits in my SUV. That is the only drawbacks of this incredible board. So if you can afford it and you want to get a great mountain board to get on the streets, go ahead and buy one.